Okay, are you guys ready for some drama? First, welcome to Doug in Exile. I'm Doug TeNapel. This is where the happy people are. Let's check in with Trump's. This is on Trump's New York case where they're trying to devalue his properties. This is his very homely lawyer, Miss Alina Habba.
You have a right to hire a lawyer who can stand up and say something when they see something wrong.
I was kidding about the homely thing. I hope that's obvious.
But I was told to sit down today. I was yelled at, and I've had a judge who is unhinged slamming a table. Let me be very clear. I don't tolerate that in my life. I'm not going to tolerate it here. And you know what? You shouldn't either.
This is great pushback on, anyways, the judge was upset about his courtroom that she was talking. He slammed his hand on the table. He's a violent partisan. This is from David Asman on Twitter, a political judge who literally ruled Trump guilty before the trial even began, is now telling Trump he doesn't want to hear what he has to say. This is the worst example of political manipulation of our justice system in U.S. history. Disgraceful. And now let's hear from Trump's lawyer.
We now are seeing that just the height of corruption of our justice system, where we have a judge that is absolutely politically determined to do everything he can to take down Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is very clearly not getting a fair trial in front of this judge. It's been clear all along he wasn't going to get a fair trial in front of this judge.
If you can't get a fair trial in front of a judge, that makes for appeals and cases thrown out. I think that's eventually going to be what happens here in New York against this guy. But he's so hateful and partisan and bizarrely motivated. Same thing with Letitia James, Fannie Willis, Chutkin, Jack Smith. You don't want a trial to go on like this by someone who's not neutral. No one trusts the results.
And the best we can hope for is that hopefully there'll be an appellate court that brings his rulings back in the line, because quite honestly, all his rulings to date are absolutely devoid of value from being connected to the facts or the law. And as we look at this picture again of him grinning for the camera, it's one of the most unprofessional things I think I've ever seen in a courtroom in my life.
He's a clown and he wants some publicity. And an appellate court, like he said, is going to look at this thing and just tear it apart and say, this ain't America. As soon as they find someone who isn't a bury the needle, paid for by Soros Democrat, all this is going to get thrown out.
This judge doesn't belong in a courtroom, and he really should be removed from the bench immediately.
Wow, those are some pretty harsh words, and you've been an attorney a long time, so to say that.
Yeah, remove him from the bench. So here's Trump when he came out of the courtroom, what he had to say.
But of course, they're getting the wish because I don't have to be here for the most part, but I sort of do have to be here because I want to be here, because it's a scam. And this is a case that should have never been brought, and it's a case that now should be dismissed. And when you look at the numbers, the poll numbers that came out today from the New York Times and CBS, I'm sure the Times was not too happy. But people are sick and tired of what's happening. This is I think it's a very sad day for America.
So they have him tied up in court so that he cannot campaign, and that's their goal, and he's calling them out on it. He's sticking to that story. This never should have been brought. But in the meanwhile, look, he's not shaken. He's still using this for free publicity, and that's good. He's going to run on this. It's going to be Trump versus the state, not Trump versus Biden, Trump versus the state. And given what most people think of how the state has overstepped its boundaries and overexpanded right before our very noses, this is going to be a good election, putting the power back in the hands of the people. If you're on board with it, let me know in the comments below. I'm Doug in Exile. Where's my Patriots?